Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. And today's video, I'm going over some physical media that I bought recently in the last couple of weeks and kind of show off what I've gotten anyways. And see what I've gotten here on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well on this, what day is it? Thursday? Thursday, kind of late afternoon, early evening period. I was going to do a video showing some things I bought recently, physical media, as I call it. Usually I show movies, vinyl, CDs that I buy. I don't buy a whole lot like some people on other YouTube channels seem to buy 20 or 30 every week. I buy a couple every couple of weeks or something like that. I might get something new to add to my collection. Also, I just want to say thanks to everybody watching my last video I made. It was a very special, very emotional video that I really wanted to make. And I really appreciate all the comments on it. I got a lot of great comments, and it was really great. I'm glad I got to share that with you guys. Also, I want to say I got a couple of live streams coming up, not on my channel, but on other channels I'm going to be on. This Friday, I'm going to be on Adam's What the Gym YouTube channel, and we're going to do a live stream ranking our top 10 favorite video games. First time really talking about video games, but Adam does a lot of video game reviews and stuff on his channel, and I like video games. I've liked them since I was a kid. I kind of grew up playing video games, so I thought it'd be a fun thing to talk about. We have other couple people on that stream as well, and it'll be 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, like it usually is for me. Also Saturday, I'm gonna be on a live stream on Jacob Martin's channel, which is Jacob Martin, and we're gonna do a watch along of the movie Dr. No, James Bond's first movie, which came out in 1962. So it's the 60th anniversary. So Jacob's been doing these watch along parties last couple weeks. And this time we wanted to do Dr. No to commemorate, the anniversary. And I said I'd like to be on it because I have Dr. No on Blu-ray, and I'm a James Bond fan. And so me, him, and another guy named Ryan Cam are going to do a watch along on his channel. And I always forgot I think it's like 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, I think, something like that. We're going to do that. Definitely check those two channels out if you want to see me on those live streams. Anyway, getting to what I bought recently, because I'm doing video games. Friday, I bought a couple of video games to kind of show off. One is Batman. This is the two Arkham games, the first two, Arkham Asylum and Ark City. And there's a third Arkham Knight that I haven't played that you can get separately. That I just have this just has the first two with that. And I played these on Xbox 360. I used to have an Xbox 360, so I love the Batman Arkham games. Are so fun. Some of the best games I've ever played. Anyway, so I got this because we're going to talk about, our favorite video games on the live stream Friday. So I got that, and I've been playing through that a little bit to talk about that one Friday. Definitely a very good video game. The other one I got is Call of Duty Modern Warfare on PS4, which I own a PS4 now. I used to play this on Xbox 360, and this definitely is like my favorite first-person shooter game. I do enjoy a good first-person shooter. And the Call of Duty Modern Warfare series is a really great series. Anyways, that's another one I wanted to get so I can talk about it Friday a little bit more. Talk about I got several CDs actually recently because I'm trying to get CDs I'm going to talk about on my, as I go through my top 100 favorite albums. I'm trying to buy the physical CD or vinyl so I can show it off when I talk about it. So I'm kind of trying to buy some stuff ahead of time. First one I got is a CD. It's called The Anatomy of the Tongue in Cheek. And the band name is Relient K, as you see there. And that's the band there. Not much of a cover there, just the band there against a wall. I think they said it was a play on another cover, if I remember right. I was reading about it. But anyways, this is an album I'm going to talk about pretty soon on my channel. They are a Christian rock, pop, punk band. and I actually saw them in concert back when I was a freshman in college. First time I ever heard of them. And I saw them in concert, and I thought they were just absolutely great. And so I've listened to this album quite a bit when I was in college, and I remember really liking it. So, and it's one I've gone back to listen to on Spotify, and it's still one of my favorite albums. So I got that, so I could talk about it on my channel, anyways. But it's they're Christian music, but they're not like preachy Christmas Christian. They're not like worship songs mostly. There's a couple worship songs on there, I would say, where they talk about Jesus and stuff like that. But most of their songs are just very positive songs, or actually there's some humorous songs in there too. I like their combination of humor in their songs are really well done. That's why I really enjoy it, and just a lot of great guitar work on there. Like I said, they're considered pop punk, so I would say they sound a little bit like Blink-182. It's kind of similar. But yeah, a lot of great stuff there. I'll talk about in another video. Another really great Christian rock album that I really enjoy is called The Beautiful Letdown, and the name of the band is Switchfoot. This also came out when I was in college, and I went to a Christian college my freshman year called Grace University in Omaha, Nebraska. And I remember, the stupid thing doesn't stay in though, unfortunately, but yeah. But I remember everybody was listening to this album. I'm like, who's this? And someone played it for me, and I was blown away. Like, the rock guitars are so good. The guitar riffs, absolutely amazing. Really good. I'd say it's rock music, really just solid rock music. And like I said, again, it's Christian rock, but it's really not, again, there's really no worship songs on this album. It's really just solid rock songs with a really positive feeling amongst them. I really more about positivity more than anything else. But yeah, I think anybody can enjoy it if you like rock music. It's a really good rock album that every song connects for me anyway. So I really love that album. That's one, again, I'll talk about on a future video on my top 100 favorite albums. Really cool CD I got that I didn't realize what I was buying. I wanted to get Oasis' What's the Story, Morning Glory, which is a album I really like. It's one of my favorite albums. It's also very special to me because it was the first album I bought on CD. Because we used to have cassette tapes, and then CDs were kind of new when I was like in junior high era. And so I was trying to transition from cassette tapes to CDs. And I heard Oasis' Wonderwall on the radio, and I was like, what is this? This is like an amazing song. Like, I thought Wonderwall was like one of the best songs I've ever heard. And when I saw that it was like this British band, Oasis, and I was like, oh, I gotta listen to more of this. And so I must have had some like some money from my parents, what do you call it, allowance money or something. And so I bought the CD and listened to it and absolutely loved it. And so I like, it's very special for me because it was like the first album I really owned on my own. Anyways, but yeah, it still holds up as a really, really great rock album of the 90s, what they call Brit pop, I guess now, which I don't remember them calling that at the time, but it's my favorite Oasis album. I really like Oasis, one of my favorite 90s bands. I already talked about one of their albums, Be Here Now, on my top 100 favorite albums, but this is definitely going to be one that's going to be coming up soon on my top 100 favorite albums, so that's why I wanted to get it, talk about it. So I'll talk more about it on that channel, on that video. But this is really cool. I didn't realize I got like the deluxe. I just go on the Amazon. I'm like, I look for what's Story Morning Glory, what's the cheapest price I can get for it, and order it. And I don't really pay attention sometimes. I always get these deluxe editions. I'm like, oh wow, I got a deluxe edition, and so I got it. It's like a book. I was like, what is this? It's not a CD like I've ever seen. It's like a little booklet. So like, oh, that's kind of cool. And there's like 3 CDs in here. There's like the first disc, which is the actual album that came out, and then disc 2, disc 3, I guess, are like all different songs that didn't make on the album maybe, and there's some like, I think, demos and live versions of stuff. Anyways, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I just wanted the regular one, but anyways, but it's got a lot of pictures and writings in it, and every song, it kind of has a little paragraph about like what the song's about, I guess, or where they came up with the song. There's the 2 brothers, the Gallagher brothers, Noel and Liam. But yeah, it's kind of cool. A lot of cool pictures, a lot of cool, information in there. So I'm like, okay. Didn't know that's what I bought, but I'm like, don't mind it. I'll look through it and kind of enjoy it. So, and it's kind of different than what I usually get. So it's kind of a cool thing to add to the collection. Another one got CD is Paul McCartney's Chaos and Creation in the Backyard. One of my favorite Paul McCartney albums, way up there. Yeah, second best. In fact, I say second favorite Paul McCartney album of all time. I talked about Flaming Pie on Adam's What the Gym channel. We ranked every single song on Flaming Pie, and loved that album too. And this came right after Flaming Pie, maybe in 2000 or so, if I remember right. And Flaming Pie I thought was great. I like this even better. I thought this was a really, really excellent Paul McCartney album. Every song is good on here. Like, there's not a bad song. And like I said, I love a lot of his solo work in the 90s and 2000s. Has been some of my favorite Paul McCartney music, and I'm a huge Paul McCartney fan, so definitely recommend Chaos and Creation in the Backyard if you haven't checked out his later solo work. I think has been really well done. All right, next album I got is John Mayer's Room for Squares, his first album that he came out with in the 90s. And I remember I was in high school when this album came out and never heard of John Mayer, and his music video for No Such Thing was huge on VH1. I used to watch VH1 music videos, and No Such Thing was on there. I remember that's the first time I saw John Mayer, and I was like, this is a really good song. Who is this guy? He's got this great, he plays acoustic guitar. He's got this great pop sound to him. And then he's had some other really big hits. I mean, this was a big album, really made him, a big name out there. His first album, and it's absolutely my favorite of his. One of my favorite albums of all time. Definitely one that'll come up much later on my list. I got 40 more albums, I think, to talk about on my top 100 favorite albums. And this is one is way up there, so it'll be on a later day, but I definitely will get to more on this album. But yeah, love John Mayer. Love his songwriting. Love he does electric guitar too, but on this album it's really all acoustic. But I love his acoustic work is really, really good. His music arrangement, and it's just great pop sound, really catchy music. The last CD I have that I'll talk about that I just got in today actually is one I'm really excited about. It's called the Swell Season. Or no, sorry, that's the name of the duo is called the Swell Season. The name of the album is called Strict Joy, which is down here. But it's kind of an interesting album because I remember when it came out, and I was so excited when it came out. This is Glenn Hansard and Marketa Oglova, if I'm pronouncing those right. They kind of started a movie called Once, which I have on Blu-ray, and it's one of my favorite musical movies, I guess, if you want to call it a modern-day musical. And I saw it in theater, and I was just blown away by the music. It was so good, and it's a really good movie. I really enjoy the movie. But it was these two, Glenn's from Ireland, Marketa is from the Czech Republic, and he plays guitar. He's part of a band in Ireland called The Frames, I believe. And Marketa plays the piano, and they sing together, and they're just absolutely beautiful music. They sing so well together. One of my favorite duos. Unfortunately, they've only made like 2 albums together, and they haven't been together for a while. So I don't think they're going to make any more music, which is too bad because I'd love to get more music from those two because it's been an absolute pleasure. I think both albums are really good. Their first album was called The Swell Season. It's kind of funny. They came out with The Swell Season, which is a lot of music from the movie Once is on The Swell Season, which is an excellent album. And then they came out with this album, and they called themselves The Swell Season. So the name of their first album, they renamed their duo that name, The Swell Season, which is a little confusing at times, especially when they only made one album as The Swell Season. I don't know if they're expecting to make more together, which I wish they would have. But yeah, but the name of the album is called Strict Joy. And so this was one of the most anticipated albums when it came out. I was so looking forward to this because I loved their work when they did the Swell Season album and also the movie Once. So amazing together, and this did not disappoint. This is an absolute excellent album, one of my favorites of all time. And I love this booklet. I love these. I love getting these, kind of like Flaming Pie. it's not this hard plastic. It's a kind of more of a soft cardboard, which I really love. I kind of like most of them having those, and it has kind of a cool, there's Glenn and the band anyways, but, and that's Marquetta. But I love that kind of layout that they have there. I mean, you never heard of these songs probably unless you got this. It's kind of more obscure music that I've discovered, that it's like one of those hidden gems that you just go, wow, this is like so great. This should be like on the radio. Everybody should listen to this, because most people probably don't know about this this group. But absolutely beautiful music. A lot of acoustic guitar and piano together. So it's really beautiful, kind of soft pop music, I guess. Indie folk music, you want to call it. Anyway, so highly recommend if you like, duos that, great harmonies and more, softer music. Is really great. Last album we'll talk about that I got one on vinyl. And this is Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, So Far, which is kind of a greatest hits album, basically. Really kind of covers their first two albums, really. Crosby, Stills, Nash album, and Crosby, Stills, and Nash, that came out in 1969. And then the Deja Vu album that came out a little bit later, maybe a year or two later, that added Neil Young to the group. Anyway, so it's a lot of songs from those two albums, because those two albums are really, really good albums. So you see a lot of these from them. And there's a couple of other songs from, must have came from other albums that I don't know as much. But I love Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Crosby, Stills, Nash, whatever. One of my favorite groups of all time. So many great songs. Like I said, those two albums are some of my favorite of all time. They'll definitely come up on my favorite albums list. I haven't come up yet. But yeah, this is one I actually had on CD back when I was in high school, maybe. I started first getting into Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. I saw this at Walmart, I think, and bought it on CD, and then I got rid of the CD a long time ago. And so I was like, man, I wish I had this again. And I looked on it, I think even on Amazon, and either they were asking for a lot of money for it, or I couldn't find a copy of it. So I was like, oh, I may never get this again. And then I happened to be at Walmart this last week, and every once in a while I'll look through the vinyl section and see if they have anything I don't have yet that's at a reasonable price, And so I was just looking at the vinyl, seeing what they have. And man, I could not believe, I was so excited when I saw this. I was like, oh my gosh, there it is, So Far. Like, this is something I've been looking for, and I never thought I'd get. And I thought I'd probably have to find it on CD. So I was like, I didn't know I'd ever find it on vinyl. Like, that was really cool. And it was only for like $20, which is a really good price for vinyl. So this is one of the most exciting finds I've had, where I wasn't expecting to see it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I didn't know this. You can just find it at Walmart. Walmart doesn't have a lot of big choices, but I was like, wow, every once in a while you find a hidden gem that you're like, wow, this is what I was looking for. So I haven't really gone out to the big record stores or anything, but I love this vinyl too. It's a clear vinyl, which most vinyl I have, of course, black. So I always enjoy getting a vinyl that's a little bit different looking. And I listened to this, and man, it sounds so great. Some of my favorite songs of all time on here. Not a lot of songs, really. It's kind of short, but sorry if you can, hopefully you can hear me. I'm trying to put it back together. But we got Deja Vu, Helplessly Hoping, Wooden Ships, Teach Your Children, Ohio, Find the Cost of Freedom, Woodstock, Our House, Helpless, Guinevere, and of course, Sweet Judy Blue Eyes finishes the album, which is my favorite Crosby, Stills, Nash song, and definitely one of my favorite songs of all time. Absolutely love that song. So it's a great ender to it. And yeah, I can't recommend this anymore if you like Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. Great kind of compilation album, best of. Anyways, and I like getting best of albums a lot of times. Anyways, and that's one of my favorite groups. So that was a great find for me anyway. So yeah, so those are some of the stuff I bought recently. Recommend all of them to anybody if you like music. Those are all great albums, and of course some really good video games as well in this list. So feel free to comment what do you think about, if you have these albums, what do you think about them. Love to read them in the comment section, and just want to say thank you for watching this video. Thank you for everybody that likes it, and just thank you to all the subscribers for supporting the channel. I really appreciate you, and I hope you have a good day.